Hi everyone, this is Julianne Victoria of Through the Peacock's Eyes. Welcome to my channel. So this is the second video in my decks, Oracle and Tarot decks for Halloween, Samhain, and the autumn season. So these are decks that I associate with one of those or feel drawn to use during those times of year. This video, I'm going to look at skeletons, ghosts and spirits, and what I call windy decks. I associate a lot of wind, so a lot of air, with the autumn season. I've always lived, almost always have lived on the west coast of the United States. And, you know, there's a lot of wind that comes off the coast. And to me, just super blustery, windy days, I associate with autumn. Okay, so let's start with skeletons. If you don't like anatomy, organs, skeletons, body parts, skip ahead or don't watch this video. If you're okay with that, watch on. So let's start with my Antique Anatomy deck. So I have two of the Antique Anatomy tarot decks, and those are by Black and the Moon, and one of the Oracle decks. So the first one I'm going to show you here is called the Antique Anatomy Tarot. And none of these come with a little white book. This one, however, does come with a little key card. I don't know how well you can see it, but the top line says item, the Fool, figure 0, and it says Uranus air. So it has the planet, astrological sign, planet or astrological sign, and the element associated with the major arcana in this key card. So as you can imagine, all these cards are skeletons, bones. The backs look like just like an old black leather book. And I'll show you some of the cards here. So it says item and then figure, as if you're looking at an old anatomy book or an anatomy book. And so Temperance, figure 14. And the symbol at the top is for Sagittarius, the ruling planet of this card. Here we have the Two of Air. So it says item air. So air would be swords. And figure 2. So Two of Air or Two of Swords. The Tower has Mars there, the ruler, and the symbol for fire. We have the Fool. It has the Uranus symbol there. King of Air, the Magician, Five of Earth, so 5 of Pentacles, Knight of Fire or Knight of Wands, and Page of Air. So you get an idea of this deck. It's not one I'm drawn to use for clients, but I thought it was a really kind of unique and fascinating concept for a tarot deck, because I am a healer, a massage therapist, body worker, structural integration therapist. You know, anatomy is a big part of my career experience. So I thought it would just be fun deck to have for me. Of course, if someone requested that I use this deck, especially this time of year, I would use it. Now, the second tarot deck is the Antique Anatomy Ephemera edition, and I just received this. It's the second printing, I believe, and I pre-ordered it. I was waiting for it. So it has a color, as you can see. The images are a little different. No key card, no little white book. Yes, just making sure I'm saying that correctly. They are still in order because I have recently just received it and I've only looked through it once. The backs are a little different. So again, it's like an old black leather book. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but it has sort of a print on the back as well. I'll show you some of the cards. So here we have the Fool. So it's a little more of anatomy than just the skeletons, or mostly skeletons in the first one. And some splash of color. Here we have flowers. Here we have the Magician. So it's not just sort of a colorized version of the first one. It's a different tarot deck based on anatomy. The High Priestess. She's got the snakes, a spider, some beetles at the top. So it has more nature elements. The Empress, the Emperor, the Hierophant, the Lovers. Okay, so you get an idea of the artwork there. And then I also have Black and the Moons, one of their Oracle of Oddities. I believe this is the second edition, and the editions have all different cards. I think there are 3 total, if I'm correct. But their website is blackandthemoon.com. Sorry about the clanging of blocks. The backs of this deck, and I forgot how many there are. I think there's 28 in this. That's correct. It looks like not leather, not green leather bookbinding, but the kind of stitched, the threaded kind, the stitched kind fabric. And I'll show you some of the cards. So again, no little white book. Just have to go with the word on it and the images. It's all anatomical. Here we have cycle, and those are vertebrae making up the circle. There are some natural elements, as you can see. Growth, dreams, earth, nightmares, those are snakes in the skull, cooperation, got the bees, love. Okay, one more, creation. So you get an idea of those. So those are my skeleton and I guess body parts decks. Yeah, so probably not for everyone, but they do fit the sort of Halloween energy. But if you're interested in anatomy, you're a doctor, a surgeon, a healer of some sort, and you're interested in tarot and oracle cards too, they might be interesting for you to get. They are standard tarot size. So what is that? 2.75 by 4.75. I always forget if it's that, and 2 or 2.5 by 5.5, but standard tarot size. Okay, next deck. The next 3 I have here actually all happen to be Lisa Hunt decks. And I didn't get them because I thought, oh, I love her artwork. I just happened to have them, and I realized they were all the same artist. Now, all 3 of these, because they're the same artist, I call windy decks. The artwork is very windy and wispy, and I associate that with the autumn season. Now, the first one is the Ghosts and Spirits Tarot. And I used this for a special 3 years ago. And it comes with a little white book. They are US games, yes. And in the little white book, it has the description of, what the image is, and then a standard, divinatory meaning here. Okay, so the backs of the Ghosts and Spirits have 3 ghosts. And I'll show you some of the images. So here we have the Knight of Cups. So to me, it's just very windy and wispy looking. Beautiful artwork. I love it. 5 of Pentacles, King of Cups, and of course Ghosts and Spirits, the 10 of Swords, the 5 of Swords, and the 7 of Wands. Okay, let's see if there's anything else. Any ones I want to show you. 2 of Pentacles, so you can get a better idea of how ghosty it can be. 7 of Pentacles. Oh, I love this one. The 6 of Pentacles, the Shaman. Okay, so that's Ghosts and Spirits. And then also by Lisa Hunt. And because of the wispiness, the windiness of the artwork, but also because it is kind of fantastical creatures, the Fantastical Creatures Tarot. So to me, a lot of fantastical creatures, mythological creatures, scary creatures are things that kids want to dress up for Halloween. So I think of this deck at this time of the year for that reason as well. It does come with its little white book that explains what the creatures are, divinatory meaning, of course, and then a little section that says magical uses, magical uses. You can see that there. Now the backs of this has a nice simple image. And one interesting thing, I knew there were some humanoid, human form creatures in here, but there's a lot more human creatures than I was expecting when I got the deck. I thought it would be mainly animals. So just something I was surprised about, but it's not a negative thing at all. It's just, I looked at the art and for some reason I thought it was going to be more animals, but there's quite a lot of human creatures in here as well. So here we have the Two of Cups and they're mermaids. So fantastical creatures, human and animal. Four of Cups, the sea monster here. Here we have chains. This would be the devil, number 15. Have a scary wolf. The King of Cups. I'd have to look up what that creature is. The Nine of Pentacles. Like a shaman or a witch woman with her owl. The Magician is a cat with wings. The Four of Swords, which are lambs. So some of the creatures aren't quite as fantastical as you might think because there's lambs and there's a wolf. 10 of Cups. So in that sense, I wouldn't say it was disappointing to see that, but just if you're interested in the deck, know that it's not all just like fantastical as in mythological creatures. 6 of Pentacles, we have this goblin. So I would say that's humanoid. And then we have the Hermit, which is like a figure morphing out of the bushes. The 8 of Pentacles, looks like a Native American spirit. The 8 of Wands, a horse. And the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so you get an idea of this. Here's a dragon. 4 of Pentacles. Oh, 4 of Wands. Okay, I won't show you the whole deck. That will take forever. Let's see if there's anything jumping out at me. But there are a lot of humanoid figures in here. Here's Queen of Swords, which is a Medusa-like woman with a snake body. Not the snake hair, but sometimes Medusa is shown with a like being snake-like from the waist down. Here's an eagle for the High Priest. Here's a lion with wings for the sun. Okay, so I like the artwork. I like the windy and wispiness for this type of year, but not quite what I was expecting. Even though I had looked at some of the artwork, there's a lot more human figures and some fantastical creatures that aren't mythological, which is kind of my mind thought it was going to be more mythological, but that's okay. All right, I still like the deck. And both of those are standard tarot size. Now the third Lisa Hunt deck I have is a Lenormand deck, and it's my only Lenormand. I have studied Lenormand a bit, but it's not my forte. I would need a lot more studying before I felt really comfortable using it regularly with clients. But it's the Fairy Tale Lenormand. And I associate, of course, her artwork very much with this time of year. This deck is not quite as windy and wispy as the others, but I thought I would put it in here. Also because it's fairy tale images and characters, and of course children like to dress up as fairy tale characters for Halloween. It comes with a cute little book, same size as the cards, and these are teeny cards. I would say they're probably bridge size, which is smaller than standard playing card size. So the book is the same size as that. It has a little description of the keywords for the cards and a little description of what the myth is, the fairy tale is. This deck has 38 cards. So there are 2 ladies and 2 gentlemen for those of you familiar with Lenormand. Normally there's 36, but there are some variations. So the backs of this deck looks like a mirrored keyhole. And I'll show you a few. So here we have 3, the ship, and that's the 10 of spades. And Lenormand, because there's normally 36-ish, I'll say, it doesn't have like the whole playing card set, like the Gypsy Witch Oracle cards is 52 playing cards that are Gypsy Witch Oracle cards. So it doesn't go through the whole 52 playing cards in the symbols at the bottom. So that's for you who are unfamiliar with Lenormand. A little brief description there of that. So here we have 7 snake, and it's the Queen of Clubs. So there's the number, there's the image, and then there's the playing card association. 10, the scythe, the Jack of Diamonds. 12, birds, the 7 of Diamonds. 20, the garden, the 8 of Spades. So as you can see, this artwork is not as windy and wispy as those 2 other ones by Lisa Hunt. 21, the mountain, 8 of clubs. 29, the lady. Oh, here I'll show you. There's 2 ladies. One is wealthy, one is poor, and this is Ace of Spades, so the number 29. And I'll show you the 2 gentlemen. Here's the moon. I like that one. Oh, they're right together. And the 2 gentlemen, 28, the Ace of Hearts. Again, one wealthy, one not so wealthy. Okay, so you idea of that artwork. So this is the second part of my deck tour of Halloween, Samhain, and autumn season decks. So there are more coming up. Thank you for watching, stopping by, liking, sharing, and subscribing, and I'll see you back here soon.